When we deal with powers of I, there is a cycle of 4 numbers that we deal with. Anytime we see I, we just leave it as I. Anytime we see I squared, which is basically I times I, we get -1. Anytime we have I to the third, which can be written as I squared times I, that turns into -I. And anytime we have I to the fourth, which equals I squared times I squared, which is -1 times -1, that equals +1. I to the fourth is equal to 1 is a key idea here, because when we start simplifying these higher powers, such as I to the 32nd, this can be rewritten as I to the fourth all to the 8th power. That becomes 1 to the 8th, which becomes 1. When we have I to the 47th, that can be thought of as I to the 44th times I to the third. Well, since 44 is a power of 4, we can rewrite that as 1 times I to the third, and I to the third, as I've described above, can be rewritten as -I. With I to the 66th, this can be rewritten as I to the 64th times I to the second. Since 64 is a multiple of 4, that becomes 1 times I squared, and I squared is -1. For I to the -27th, that is equal to I to the -28th times I to the first. I to the -28th is a multiple of I to the fourth, so we're going to have 1 times I, which will then simplify to I.